here is Amobi Ezeaku. Is currently is currently having his FIFA Masters in International Management Law and Humanities from 2022 down to this year, and he was a former football manager of Rangers International Football Club PLC from 2016 down to 2021. Amobi, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you, Chisom. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to, definitely. So it seems you have some very interesting slides for us. So the idea of this webinar is that we've been having lots of scholarship packs like this one. And so some of our mates have been reaching out to us. So how about those of us that are in football? If you just want to be telling us about normal masters in law and all that thing, so that they too want to have something that they would like, something that they could that will resonate with them. So that was why we had to reach out to you. If not you, who are going to reach out to? So we'll be glad if you could help us to address this point, how to creating a career in football management. Yes, thank you. So over to you.
Thank you so much. And let me quickly express my joy and also my gratitude for such thoughtfulness and for inviting me to speak to you about creating a career in football management. Not to take our time, we will be having about 5-6 slides, but these slides will just be a touch point for the things I'm going to say. I'm going to share experiences and then lead us into the world of football management. We start by looking at football management in our context. We'll look at the skills and the abilities a football manager needs to possess. We will look at the duties of a football manager. And we also look at how to really start. We need to be practical about this. How do we really start? You want to be in football management, you want to be a football manager. It's not, in most people's mind, it's about standing on the touchline, but it's beyond that. There are administrative roles and all that. And then the very important questions to always ask, we will also look at that. So let's look at football management in our context. The process of running a football club or a national team, in a nutshell, is what you tag football management. That is the summary. It could be administrative, and that is in our own context. It could also be technical. That's when you want to talk about what happens in the United Kingdom, the people they call the managers, the Jose Mourinho's, the Sir Alex Ferguson's, and all that. In the African context and in Nigeria, most times, a football manager or a team manager or a general manager is different from the chief coach or the technical advisor. And in football management, the responsibilities range from team selection to tactics, recruitment, and transfer. And transfer is a very delicate issue, and it is also governed by the FIFA transfer matching system. For countries who have domesticated the transfer matching system, you have the domestic transfer matching system, which they call the DTMS. Nigeria is one of those countries in Africa that operates the domestic transfer matching system. In football management also, you talk of negotiations, public relations, and media engagement. As a manager, you must be open to criticisms. You must be willing to answer questions from the press, from the media, from fans, and all that. It could also be looked at as an act of creating teamwork within the organization. Football management requires teamwork. A person cannot play football. A person cannot administer football. The operationalization of activities in football cannot be done by a person. And that is why, for some, they will see football management as teamwork within an organization. A football manager must therefore be a leader a motivator, an inspirational figure, and a very organized person. Because week in, week out, you find that you have games. Beyond the games on the field, you find that you also have certain administrative works to do in the office. You also find that you've got meetings to attend to. You find that you've got certain deals to close. It could be jersey sponsorship deals. It could be branding deals. Call it anything. But beyond the on-field activity, there are a lot of things that happen off the field. We will now proceed to look at the skills and abilities a football manager must possess. The picture on that slide was taken many years ago when I was working for a professional football club in Nigeria. First, passion is key. A football manager must be passionate about football development, not just in his or her immediate working space, but beyond his or her immediate working space. Mind you, I use his or her because football management is not just tied to men. You know, it's in football, there is neutrality. Football does not discriminate. Football does not segregate. Football believes in equality. It is a universal message, the message of equality. And so a man, a woman can be a football manager. So you must be passionate about the development of football. That passion must be seen in your eyes. That passion must be seen in what you say. That passion must be felt also in your conduct. Again, since football is big business, a football manager must imbibe positive approach to providing excellent customer service. You know, I said earlier, good fan engagement and good feedback. In Africa, well, it is changing, but most people believe that football is just entertainment. No, football is a multi-billion-dollar business. That is why you find that players are transferred for 100 million euros. Players are worth billions of euros, and it explains the business side of football. So a football manager must always look at the business side of football, but not forgetting the corporate social responsibilities that a club must be seen to be clearly carrying out. Again, you know, most people, when they submit their CV, they say they have the ability to work under pressure. Yes, a football manager must possess the ability to work under intense pressure, because there are games on the field. Football is dynamic. Most times, a game you think you will win, you find that you're on the back foot and you begin to struggle. So you must be seen to have that shock absorber to withstand this pressure. Teamwork cannot be overemphasized. I stated in the previous slide that teamwork is key. Teamwork is the hallmark of football management. It is, in fact, it is the life wire of football management. If you understand the value of teamwork, you will find that 70% your work will be made easier for you. A football manager must be innovative in a football world that is constantly evolving. 10 years ago, the rules have changed from today. 15 years ago, as at Atlanta 96, as at USA 94, you had the golden goal rule, but today it has changed. You play extra time, you play penalty kicks. Before now, you don't start a goal kick within your 18-yard box, but all these things have changed. So a football manager must be innovative. Internally, you must also be innovative. Social media is doing a lot. How many followers do you have as a football club? A football manager must be able to innovate ideas that can boost the fan engagement, boost the followership of the organization, of the football club, of the institution, as you may wish to call it. Having looked at the skills and abilities of a football manager, we will now proceed to look at the duties of a football manager. These duties are countless. There are a litany of them, but we have chosen to just pick a few. And I know that you can, in your private studies, in your personal research, also look at other duties. You must ensure that the organization is up to date with the changing, the evolving rules of football, rules of sports, the anti-doping regulations, the regulation on the status and transfer of players, the agent regulation, and so on, the ethics regulation, as the case may be. One other duty of a football manager is planning the organization's events. Beyond football matches, there are other events that football clubs can be involved in, or with. Talk of dinners, you talk of award nights within the club or even outside the club. You plan these events, meetings, shows. It's a business, like I earlier said. Promotion of the club is also one of the duties of a football manager. You must at all times be seen to be promoting the image, the brand of your organization. You must be clearly seen to be driving towards the growth of your club, of the organization. And the easiest way to do that right now is to have a positive image, capitalize on the wide range that social media can give you: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, even TikTok. There are a lot of clubs that are really doing a lot with, fan engagement and a lot of business using their social media handles. Another duty is responding to day-to-day questions on the image of the organization. You find that people will always call you to ask what is happening with the organization, with the club. How many players have you signed? How many are you placing on transfer? The injured players, when are they coming back? When are they resuming? Is the coach doing well? Do you intend to sack the coach? All these things are questions that you must be willing to answer. Sometimes you have to be diplomatic. Some other times you have to say these things as they really are, because you need the trust of the stakeholders. You need to always have their trust, because once you have their trust, it would have created a channel, a pathway for easy football management. Also, you must create schedules for events. You must know that every moment counts, every second counts in football management. So you must create a plan for the season ahead of the new season to make life easy for you. Another duty is in the office. I stated earlier that administration is part of football management. There are a lot of office tasks to be done. You have to look at contracts. There are departments, the legal departments for some big organizations would do that, but you also have to oversee this. You have to look at contracts, for instance. You have to look at matters that are up for arbitration and the position of your club with respect to that. Even the duty to relate interpersonally with players is a duty of a football manager, because most times, from practical experience, you find that certain family issues can distract a football player. But if you wade in and you build on the person's mind, on the person's mentality and psychology, you find that the person begins to realize that you are not just with him for the service he gives, but you mean well for the player. So all these things and many more you will find when you do further studies, further research, duties of a football manager. Yeah, a lot of people will ask, how do I really start? How do we start? We want to get into football management. How do we start? We are going to look at that in the next slide, how to start. If you watch, I said, the first thing I said is you have to show interest, and not just interest, but real interest. Because interest, passionate show of interest is the bedrock of your success in football management. So you must show real interest. You must show that you love this game. You must show that you can give up a lot for this game. That is the first step. Then you have to get qualifications, sports management, law, physical health education. You can go for courses. You can go for courses online, physical courses, seminars, conferences. In doing this, you get the needed experience intellectually. You get the needed experience by interacting with people who have been in the field. You get the needed experience by exchanging contacts, exchanging ideas. Again, you have to study. You have to continue to study. You have to continue to research to find how you can improve as a football manager. You have to also gain work experience. Most people will say, where is the work, especially if in the Nigerian context? But I always tell people that when you volunteer, you'll find that things become way easier for you. It's easier for you to get into an institution or an organization as a volunteer than not even coming in at all to help. From volunteering, you show your soft skills, you show those skills, and people will pick interest in you, and the rest will be history, like they say. Also, you have to find opportunities. Opportunities are everywhere, but they are also open to those who find, to those who knock. So you have to go out and look for these opportunities. People will also say, from where we come from, that these opportunities may not be there, but to satisfy your conscience, you have to first of all try. There are 20, for instance, in Nigeria, there are 20 Premier League clubs in Nigeria. If you intend to be a football manager, ask yourself, have I reached out to any of these clubs? Have I gone to their trainings to maybe interact with one or two of the people currently working there now to see how I can add my little quota to the development of the club, the development of what they do. It doesn't matter if you are a lawyer or a doctor. There are doctors in football management. There are lawyers in football management. I, for one, I am a lawyer. There are people, business administrators in football management. So these, in a nutshell, could be tagged the how to start. And the final slide, which I always, is a very important slide, the questions to always ask. I know you are anticipating to see the next slide. Here, a football manager must always ask these questions. What can happen? Where can it happen? When can it happen? Why can it happen? And how can it happen? I said earlier that football is a dynamic game. The football ecosystem is dynamic. The football ecosystem is large. So a lot of things happen within this ecosystem. So you must always also have a dynamic mentality to note that because a lot can happen, you must always put a step forward to make sure you wade into whatever happens, especially if it is in the negative context. A clear example is the COVID-19. When the COVID-19 came, a lot of clubs had to readjust. A lot of clubs had to take so many steps towards ensuring that their entities continue to thrive. That is football management for you. So these questions you must always ask. These questions must always be in your mind. These questions must always resonate within your spirit if you want to succeed as a football manager. But I will also add that you should not be scared to fail. There are moments you don't reach the desired goal. There are moments the expected results don't come. But then that's what makes the game dynamic and fun. You have to take every hit as it comes. So that's what I have for you today. And I hope that this will help all of you with respect to your journey into the management system. Feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to send emails, to chat me up on WhatsApp if you have questions. And we see how far we can go, because I believe that together we can make the world a better place. Together we can make the football ecosystem more sustainable and more fun for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a very beautiful presentation that you have over there. And so, yeah, we really appreciate it. But just a very few questions from, again, the people. One of them asked, when does one begin to plan ahead for a career in football management? So the person has a younger brother that is in high school, and the person is very excited. Oh, I want to be a manager, I want to be a manager. So the question is, when? Is it like after your undergraduate studies, before? When do you advise the person to start?
Now, you have to start now. If the person is in high school, don't they play football in high school?
They do,
It has
definitely.
responsibility. Organize the team. Let people know that this is what you are passionate about. Do it and they will respect you. And you grow with that. In fact, that is first-hand experience, if you ask me. One mistake people make is that they think that there are hard and fast rules to this, okay? There are no hard and fast rules to this. So if the person is in high school, every high school in Africa has a football team, has a sports team. So the person should start now. You don't need to have a degree, you don't need to have a doctorate or become a professor. Start now, continue to build on this, and with time, you will get to your desired role.
Thank you very much for answering that question. We've heard him. We know some of us don't talk about football management. We're already having that European environment in our mind, and we're into suits and all that. So my next question is, how many years of work experience does one need to become a professional football manager?
I will still answer this like
yes.
the previous question. You see, when I became a football manager, I was working for the Players Union. But when I joined the club, I had, in quotes, no experience working for such big club as a team manager. So you don't need to have 10 years experience. You just need to start. You just need to be doing something in football, okay? You as a club secretary, you're already a football manager, you know. But I know in the context of this question, the person means maybe the coach in the English context. In that case, you have to do your coaching courses, you get your coaching badges, your UEFA licenses, and all that. But in the context of working in an office, as an administrator, you just need to study, have passion for this game, and you don't need 5-10 years experience. You just need to learn on the job most times. Ask questions and you are good to go.
So you made mention of coaching licenses and all that. And during your slide, you also mentioned something about educational courses and all that. So what I want to know, I guess, is what are those specific educational qualifications that a person should have? I'm aware that you have a UEFA certification in football management in 2022. You're currently undergoing an international masters right now. So are there others besides this one?
Yes, there are many certificate courses one can do in football. In Spain, for instance, there are schools that offer courses in football management. In England, all over the world. But I must also say quickly that these certificates are rated. For instance, the FIFA Master is rated the best in Europe, and that is why it's very competitive to get onto the FIFA Master. The UEFA certificate in football management as well. But also, we have to create a distinction for those who want to be coaches, like technically, those who want to stand on the touchline to coach football teams. You have to also do the UEFA licenses, get these licenses for you to be able to coach under UEFA regulated clubs. In Africa, you have the CAF coaching licenses as well, if you want to be a coach. But if you want to be in the administrative part of football, you can go for the UEFA certificate in football management. You can do the FIFA Master. You can even do a normal Masters in sports management. So all these qualifications will open your mind to the beautiful world of football management. So all you need to do really, practically, just get online, check the random Google search, and you will see the ratings of these courses and try your hand on them. Who knows, you can get lucky, you can, be selected and admitted to study these courses. The FIFA Master, for instance, is very competitive. So if you get admitted to do the FIFA Master, you know that you are just way up there and you just need to give it your best shots, because you have 1 year of serious studies, serious field work, and you need to know that when you come out, you are coming out to help your continent to develop sports generally, not just football. So anyone can look at the internet, check LinkedIn, ask people questions, people you feel would know and who are very eager to assist, and then you are good to go.
Thank you very much for answering that question. Okay, I can remember vividly, we've heard a lot of stories about you from your undergraduate days in at the University of Nigeria campus. Something about you while you were studying, you were still going with the football stuff. So I guess somebody that is an undergraduate right now in the Faculty of Law. So the person is asking, how did you combine both? How did you merge your studies together with football?
Yeah, prioritization is important. You have to prioritize. You have to also have a balance with your life. Many years ago, it was believed that people who play football were the wasted people in the families or in the society. But now these things are changing. You have people who are doctors who play football. You have people who currently are in school who play football. So the person who asked the question, if he is in school, you can't be going to training when you have lectures. So you need to talk to the coaches. You can attend trainings in the evening after your lectures. And football players are naturally brilliant, okay? You don't need to even read so much to pass, because if you are physically fit, you will also be mentally fit. There is this adage, mens sana in corpore sano, a healthy body in a healthy mind. So if you have a healthy body, your mind will also be healthy. So if other students are at Coach Chari's doing TDB. You find that you can just read for 3 hours and you've covered. So he shouldn't, the person shouldn't give up, but shouldn't also give up on his studies, because there is life after active football. You can't become, for instance, the FIFA president or CAF president if you are not educated. People will look at you somehow. Fine. You find that the likes of Samuel Eto'o, after playing, they've gone back to school. Wilfred Ndidi just graduated from the Montfort University in the United Kingdom. So a lot of these players are studying. So if the person has an opportunity to be studying and he has got football clubs around, then he has to capitalize on that. It's difficult, but it's doable, it's possible. Once you know that what you want is this, you have two things you are doing, playing football and studying, then that means you will shun partying, you will shun picnics, except when there is time in between all these things. That's why I said prioritization is key. And I think that's the answer to that question.
Okay. So you started as a player, right? And then shortly after, you kind of switch a little bit to the administrative part of football. So
yeah, I played for UNN. I captained UNN. I played the West African University games for UNN. I played the Nuga games. And after school, I played for some time before I stopped playing, and I worked for the Players Union, the Football Federation, and then I went to manage a club. So I think, like I said, the ecosystem is welcoming. It's about showing your passion. When you show your passion, people will see it, people will feel it. And most times this passion brings results. And when the results are there, people want to deal with you. People want to believe in you. They feel that you can drive an organization to glory.
Thank you. You mentioned something earlier on about balancing studies and football. This is just like an aside, because I know some people, they'll be like, education is scam. And they'll end up quoting some football players that are making like billions, and you with education and everything, what have you made? So for people like that, what's the advice to them?
Yeah, people will say education is scam, but it's not true, because when you look at those football players who make all this money, they need lawyers to advise them. They need doctors to treat them. They need psychologists to, speak with them. See, everybody has a calling, because everybody has a calling, and every generation has its time and tide. People shouldn't look at what other people are doing. You should look at what your spirit really wants to do. Okay. I find that our generation is one that is bedeviled by something I tag the bandwagon syndrome, So you mustn't, a lot of people will come and say, this is scam. It could not be scam for other people. Okay. So just do your thing, be you, enjoy the flow. Life is short, On the average, if you do your research well, on the average, the average life expectancy for someone in Nigeria I think is 56. So it's really short. So just enjoy yourself. Be who your heart wants you to be. And, for the person feeling that way, it could be that the person's priority is money. But one thing is true, that when you are passionate about something and you do it and deliver, money will come naturally to you. People will call you to advise them. If I'm to write a letter for you, I'm not going to write it for free. And if Mr. A is writing that letter for $500, because I am the one writing it, it could be $1,000. It's the same pen, but different persons, okay? So that is what happens with branding yourself. That is what happens with knowing who you are and knowing what you really want to achieve.
Okay. You mentioned about finding opportunities.
That is the last question.
Okay, you mentioned something about finding opportunities. So are there any places you could just point out for people to go and look for opportunities here? You could see one here. Just, I don't know.
Yes, I made practical instances. I said, for instance, I know most of the students, you you are referring to are in Nigeria. And I said there are 20 Premier League clubs, for instance, in Nigeria. There are over 50 Division 1 clubs in Nigeria. And then there are over 150 to 500 amateur clubs. You can, attach yourself there, see what they do, understand the nitty-gritties first, understand the little things, so that you can also talk about these things when they wake you up from your sleep. These are opportunities, but people don't know. I remember the last time I went to deliver a speech in Enugu many years ago. Last month, I met one of the guys. He was in that class, and he told me that he's now practicing as a sports lawyer, and he came for a game out of what he has made from practicing as a sports lawyer. And it was all thanks to me and all that. I say, yes, I'm happy to see you. You can see now that the field is so large. It needs people to come. It needs people to come in and work here, because everywhere in the world, they play football. And because you are in Nigeria, it doesn't mean that you can only work in Nigeria. Okay? I've done works against clubs in America, against clubs in Turkey. You just need to believe in what you've got. You just need to believe in the clients you represent. For instance, you just need to believe that football is universal. Football does not respect boundaries, okay? So I feel, and sincerely, as much as is my opinion, I know that a lot of people will also share the same opinion as mine, that all you need to do is to step out there, find a club, find an organization, attach yourself with them, ask questions. And I said earlier, you can get a no, but then you should keep trying.
So we're not done with the questions. I actually collected everything for this session today. So what is your biggest accomplishment so far in football?
Well, my biggest accomplishment, I've not really thought about that, because every day for me is a big accomplishment, But okay, I think I would say that for a club that never won a trophy for 32 years and coming on board to win a trophy for that club would forever go down in history as one of those accomplishments, Another accomplishment for me would be what I'm doing now. It gives me great joy to share my experiences, to talk to people about the possibilities that life has for them, to give people hope, to inspire people. I think is even a bigger accomplishment.
Okay, so let us go back a little bit to the educational aspect. So are there any online courses? Because it's about applying for those courses and all that, and in your case you have to travel. So what of somebody that does not want to travel, like person is still like doing undergraduate studies or something?
There are many online courses. There are courses on child safeguarding, there are online courses on football management, there are online courses on anti-doping, a lot of courses. So like I said, people should not shy away from the internet, okay? Use the internet in a positive light. Ask questions. Like you've asked me now, I've told you about child safeguarding. People are highlighting, putting the satellite on child safeguarding. Women football is growing. There are courses online, educating people about that. Even the English FA, they have a course on their website about coaching. They have a course on their website about certain levels of coaching. So check these websites out and thank me later.
Thank you now. So you said about the FIFA Masters that is very competitive Masters. So just want to know how does one stand out during application to have a chance to be chosen by the admission?
Okay, FIFA Master is indeed very competitive, and the admission for the for this year. The application has closed. The next year's application, I think it will be open by October, but we will keep in touch. When it opens, I know I will get the information and I can share that with you. Just keep doing something in sports, keep doing something within sports, gather these experiences. These experiences are what would speak for you, what would be the edge for you. And now you said you don't have, you are waiting for law school. Languages are important also in sports. You must have other languages like French, like Spanish, Italian, Arabic, the one you can learn. I'm still struggling with learning French. And hopefully after learning that, I will think of other languages to learn, but languages are important. So feel free to reach out to me with respect to some of these other questions. If you watch, I'm gearing to run because I've got a lot of thoughts waiting.
I totally understand. Thank you very much for your time. We would have asked us, okay, what's next after your FIFA Masters? Do you have another Masters again? But we'll keep that for you in our private LinkedIn chat. Thank you very much, Amobi, for your time. It's a beautiful slide, and we are grateful to have you speak to us about this. We hope you inspire as much people as you can, and may God continue to bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Chisom. Thank you.
You have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.